In 1999, a quiet neighborhood went to sleep and woke up to a nightmare. A 23-year-old woman was found dead inside her apartment. No forced entry.
No weapon recovered. No witnesses.
Just silence. For 20 years, her family waited for answers. And then, a single DNA match changed everything. This is the story of a case that refused to die. It was October 14, 1999. 23-year-old Maya Thompson had just moved into her first apartment. She had a new job, new independence, and big plans. She spoke to her sister at 9:42 p.m. Everything sounded normal. At 11:18 p.m., a neighbor heard what sounded like something falling. They ignored it. The next morning, Maya didn't show up for work. By that evening, police entered her apartment. What they found was disturbing. Maya was lying on her bedroom floor. No signs of forced entry.
No robbery.
Her purse, cash, and jewelry were untouched. It didn't look random. It looked personal. Police questioned her ex-boyfriend, a coworker who had asked her out, the landlord, neighbors. Everyone had alibis. There were no fingerprints that didn't belong. No security cameras. No DNA matches in the system. In 1999, forensic technology wasn't what it is today. Investigators collected evidence, but they couldn't identify who it belonged to. Months passed. Then years. The case went cold. Her mother kept her room untouched. Her father stopped celebrating holidays. Her sister kept calling detectives for updates. But there was nothing. By 2005, the file was archived. Detectives retired. New officers barely remembered the name. But one thing remained. A small piece of preserved DNA from under Maya's fingernails. At the time, it meant nothing. The database had no match. But science was changing. And technology was evolving. In 2019, the department reopened several cold cases using advanced DNA genealogy testing. This wasn't traditional database matching. This was family line tracing. Investigators uploaded the unknown DNA profile into a public genealogy system. Weeks passed. Then, a partial familial match appeared. Not the killer, but a distant cousin. From there, detectives built a family tree, narrowed down male relatives, cross-referenced age and location, and one name stood out. He had lived 3 blocks away in 1999. He had no criminal record. He had since moved out of state. But he had never been questioned. Police collected a discarded coffee cup from him, tested it. It was a perfect match. 20 years later, there was finally a knock on his door. When arrested, he denied everything. But the DNA didn't lie. Under Maya's fingernails, on fabric in the bedroom, on a strand of hair. Evidence that waited 2 decades to speak. During interrogation, he eventually admitted he had entered her apartment after watching her for weeks. She fought back. That's how his DNA was preserved. The very act that ended her life is what exposed him. In court, Maya's mother finally faced the man who took her daughter. 20 years of grief. 20 years of silence. Broken by a single scientific advancement. The jury deliberated for less than 3 hours. Guilty. For 2 decades, he lived freely, built a life, walked past neighbors who never knew. But time was never on his side, because DNA doesn't forget. And sometimes, justice is just waiting for technology to catch up. If this story moved you, subscribe, because there are more cold cases still waiting to speak.